one of the things that ZZ mentioned in brief is the quality of the tenants. So we have most of the buildings with actually performing tenants, and some of them um, will opt to pay you in, okay, I would say Zim dollar, but now Zig, but it's a price that is indexed in its right color, to the extent that by the time it comes the other way, you would have factored for everything that you need. So bottom line is, regardless of the color that it's it's generating a CBD, to make, because it exists, to make it viable, price it correctly, and then collect as a different thing. The performance of that property portfolio as well, even being CBD, is we have very, very small, if any, tenants who will miss their rental obligations. The challenge is that, yes, we have experienced, has been said, but our approach has been to now say, let's diversify the breadth of this portfolio by going into retail, by getting into spaces where we know we will increase the size of this property book and dilute the level of dependence that we have on this property portfolio that is CBD oriented. One of the things then obviously that we've been doing, because we've got these new projects going on, is if we identify a situation where there is a willing taker and the cost benefit analysis is good for us because we're going somewhere else, we will consider and go into a decision perhaps that could result in us letting go of some of the assets. So you find it's a catch, but we have taken a view to not be blind or panic about how we handle that CBD portfolio, because it is making money. It's just that you have to also understand the metrics of your tenants and their dynamics. Some of the void spaces that we have, you would celebrate that it's actually void, because you can imagine every tenants who want to go in a building that is 15, 16 floors, and then the last 4 floors are where they want to be. Elevators can shut down, water, you've got a lot of things happening in the country, but you can be very much happier to say, how do I manage my costs overall with the tenants that are occupying 1 to 10, and what do I do with the remaining 4? Well, let's see how the economy plays. As long as the property itself in its singularity is not loss making, we're okay. But yes, when opportunities come, yeah, we'll obviously look at it, and I'm sure we'll find a way around it. But so far, the portfolio is good, and we're happy with it.
And they know the restructuring. Maybe the biggest restructuring started here locally when we did the project Campi, which again speaks to what we're talking about. We wanted control over cash wallet, where the cash was. And the project Campi has allowed us to control the cash that way, especially if I can speak, which is coming from the properties. You recall that his API was listed, and I had to wait and plead with the AD to give me a dividend for me to touch that cash. If you wanted to touch it the other way, he was telling us the corporate governance was a listed entity. So we did Project Gambit, we delisted. Now we have full control of cash from properties, and we can also even use the properties to leverage in terms of financing our project. And also we then managed to secure control of Fidelity. So while we haven't been able to touch any cash from Fidelity at this stage because of the growth pressure that we're pushing in from Fidelity, we have got control. We can have some influence in terms of testing where to put some of the money, which is where some of it is going to be. But also in that same vein, we've said going forward, we are now going to be investing in properties in a near liquid form, which is why most of our capital now is going through a REIT structure. So there's been massive restructuring from the domestic market, which is why it has allowed us to even bankroll the regional expansion. The 2 million that is going into Mozambique is partly from also the property. rental income, which we can deploy now, and we can also play around with the properties in terms of leverage. But also added to that, we have also even restructured the team in some of the key SBUs to make sure that we become more agile and dynamic in terms of responding to the market. But by and large, I think the biggest restructuring of the group started locally in the domestic market, now going into the